Hi Cooking Cronies, today I'm going to make a light as a feather muffin. And the only deviation that I'm going to make from this Betty Crocker recipe is that I'm going to add blueberries to the recipe. So it calls for, I'm going to show you. It calls for soft as silk cake flour, sugar, shortening, baking powder, milk. I'm going to be using 2% milk, an egg, and it will call for salt that I haven't pulled out yet. So I've got my bowl ready. I have pre-measured 1 cup of blueberries here. And what I do is when blueberries or any fruit goes on sale, the small fruit like blueberries or raspberries or blackberries, I'll buy them and put them on a cookie sheet, freeze them, and then put them in a container that I can put in the freezer and just pull out the amount that I need. So let's get started. The recipe is from an old Betty Crocker cookbook that I have had for a number of years. The cookbook belonged to my mother, and then she gave it to me, and so that's what I'm using today. And this is my old cookbook. It has seen better days. So we're going to start by creaming together the sugar and the shortening, and it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar. Now you can substitute Splenda if you like, but today I am not going to do that. I'm going to follow the recipe, which is out of the norm for me since I usually just look at a recipe and then do my own thing with it. But today I am going to follow the recipe. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy this recipe because I have made it in the past and it is quite delicious. So there's my 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'm going to use 1/4 cup of shortening. And I like to use the butter flavored shortening just because I think it just adds a nice buttery flavor to the recipes. So I do like to use that when I'm cooking. I have pre-sprayed my muffin tin with Pam butter flavored and wiped off all the edges on it because I didn't want it to burn on the top. So that's pre-sprayed. You can use paper muffin cups if you like. And then I have preheated my oven to 375. So let's start. So I'm going to use 1/4 cup of the shortening. And we're going to pack it in there. I don't want air pockets. I want to make sure I'm getting the amount that I need. And then with my straight spatula, I'm going to pack it down again and then scrape it. And you can see that's got a nice pack to the shortening. So I will be putting it into the sugar shortly. Let me just get this shortening off my rubber spatula here. Now remember, for solids, you should use the regular measuring cups, whatever brand you buy, and liquids are always in a glass measuring cup. So, okay. That comes from my 4-H days, by the way. And get down to eye level when you're measuring liquid. If you measure dry ingredients in your glass measuring cups, it usually doesn't come out as accurate as it would if you used the correct measuring utensils. So I have my sugar in there. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then I am going to cream the sugar and the shortening. Till it's well blended. And I'll be using the back of the spatula, the straight edge spatula, just to keep cleaning my rubber spatula to make sure that I'm mixing it the way thoroughly so that everything gets combined. You can see it's a little difficult to get the shortening and the sugar to combine, especially on a little cool morning like today. My shortening was in the cupboard, so it was at room temperature, and it was soft, but not as soft as it could have been had I been making this recipe this summer. Okay, so you can see that I have it combined really well, and now I'm going to add my 1 egg to this mixture. Now, if this had been a farm fresh egg, I would have broke it into a bowl before I put it directly into my mixture. Okay, so I am going to blend in the egg, and then I'm going to measure my flour by dip level method. I'm not going to sift it. I'm just going to spoon it into my measuring cups. That's considered dip level. You can also weigh your flour if you like, or weigh your dry ingredients, even your wet ingredients if you like, for a more accurate measure. All right, so that's well blended. So then it calls for 1 3/4 cups of the flour. And I have some here in this bag. So I'm going to get a spoon and dip it and put it into my measuring cup. So you can see what I'm doing here. Make a bowl, get any excess flour so it's not dropping on my counter. I'm not wasting any. Okay. I'm going to get me another straight edge spatula here so I can level off my flour. I'm going to give it a little tap and then measure toward me and then away from me. I'm going to pour that into my shortening sugar and egg mixture. And now I need an additional 3/4 cups. So you find that one. There we go. And with the same process, dipping my spoon in and filling up my measuring cup. You know, when I was going through 4-H as a kid, I wondered why I needed to know all this stuff. But I'll tell you, baking is a science, and you really need to do it accurately if you want your recipes to turn out correctly. So there is my 1 3/4 cups of the softest silk cake flour. The other that accumulated in my bowl here, I'm going to put back in the bag. Once I've opened up a box of the softest silk, I do transfer into a plastic bag along with putting it into an airtight container just to keep it nice and fresh. Okay, so I've got my flour in here, and Now I'm going to blend in all the rest of my dry ingredients, which is my baking powder, and that is 4 teaspoons. Now 3 teaspoons equals 1 tablespoon, but I don't want to have to dirty 2 measuring spoons, so I'm just going to use the tablespoon measuring. Okay, so I measured my 1 cup by getting down to eye level, and I'm going to slowly mix this in. I'm going to put in partial milk and stir. You don't want to overbeat these, and you're going to add the blueberries very last because you want to just fold them in. So I'll add more milk. Okay, coming along here, scraping the sides, making sure that I'm getting all the dry ingredients mixed in, and I'll add the rest of my milk and continue to stir. Once all the milk is incorporated, you can see it's not yet, then I will fold in the blueberries. Give this a little wipe because dry ingredient seems to form on it, stick to it, even though it's supposed to be silicone. All right, that looks really good. So now I'm going to get my blueberries that I have pre-measured, and I'm going to put them in and fold them into the batter. Doesn't it look good? So now I'm going to spoon this batter into my sprayed muffin tin. You can measure this if you like by using a measuring cup, or just spoon it in. So I am going to use this measuring cup, and that way they're pretty uniform. I'm making a little bit of a mess here. Now, if this batter doesn't fill all 12 of the muffin, if all 12 of the muffin holes, then I will fill them with water. That way your pan does not burn. All right, I need to get this spatula out of there for now. All right, I think I may have enough to fill this whole tin. Turn it around. Can't wait. I've got butter softening. I don't put butter in the refrigerator, especially in the wintertime with all the fat in it. I've read that you really don't need to refrigerate your butter. I do refrigerate it in the summer just because it gets so hot here. All right. Hoping I can get at least 2 more out of here. You know, you try to make them uniform, but sometimes it's still, even though you're measuring, I don't know. I guess some of my scoops were bigger than others. Okay, so I'm going to put my measuring cup aside for right now. And I'm going to clean the bowl with my spatula and put that into the very last muffin tin. Boy, I made a mess. My aim wasn't so good. All right. There's a little more in there. All right, this is looking really good. So my muffin tin is full. And I will now, now I'm going to put it into my 375 degree oven. And I'm going to bake it for 20 to 23 minutes, it says. So let's see. I'll set my timer at 20 minutes and just kind of check it after that. Okay, let's see how that turns out. Okay, the timer's going off, so I will check them with a toothpick, poking it in, seeing if it comes out clean. It's done. If not, I'll put it in for another 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, let's see. Now, insert it. Oh, came out clean. It's just the tops aren't brown, which I guess that's okay. I'm going to put it in for another 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, I think. Maybe it's because I'm used to the way the box mixes turn like a golden color. I don't know. All right, 3 minutes. And then I'll bring them out. I've got my butter standing by so that I can give it a try. Okay, I'm being summoned. And I'm sure they're done to my liking now, since they were, actually, I was just trying to see if they would brown up a little bit. So I'm going to pull them out of the oven. Clear my oven. Sometimes I forget to clear it. And then I wonder why the house is hot. Yeah, they really didn't brown, so I guess they were done before. I'll show you. Very pretty. So I'll go around the edges here. Look at that, how nice it's going to release. The edges are brown. Oops. Guess I don't know how to go around in a circle. Can't remember the last time I made muffins from scratch. And I don't know why I don't, because it's easy. And it's probably healthier than the box mixes. Or the ones you buy from the grocery store. Pre-made. At least when you're cooking at home, you know what you're putting in them. Don't know how to keep this camera steady either. Sorry, folks. And the last one. All right, put it on a plate. Oh, it looks very pretty. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, let's cut it in half here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I'll add some butter. Oh, this knife is hot, so the butter wants to melt on it. I'll put the two halves together. Cut it lengthwise. And put some butter on that and cover it. Now those I'm going to take to Mike to sample for me, and I will sample this one. Oh my gosh, they smell really, really good. And this butter is just melting all over the place. Oh my God. Moist, flavorful, and not oversweet. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. And God bless, cooking cronies. Stay healthy.